Hello, Dark Reader, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. I'm your host, Katie. On this episode today, we're going to go through a few unique comics that are coming out in December. They would make great gifts for any people that love gothic or spooky reads. Most of these are not mainstream comics, just an FYI. There are a ton of comics being released in December, but we aren't covering things like Red Sonja, Walking Dead, any of those comics. Let me begin by sharing you what kind of comic we will be talking about. The first comic on our list is called Bloody Honey, Best Friends Forever and Ever. It's by Dorshak, Blok, and it came out December 7th. So this is published by Literati Press, comics and novels, and I don't know if I'm familiar with them. So apparently this is the story of Ivan A. Alexander, who is a bear, who wakes up one day surrounded by a dystopian society. He then attempts to figure out how he can adjust and find his lonely way. It is also about the frustration of limited perspective. In addition to Ivan A. Alexander the bear, we have Jingleheimer, who is a young and beautiful rabbit full of promise when it seems his path in life becomes significantly altered. Or does it? So this is a graphic novella about understanding and controlling both negative and positive emotions, living in and maintaining a state of zen while battling or dealing with inner demons. Hey, we are approaching wintertime officially, and the nights are definitely getting darker. It can be a little lonely for sure, and those thoughts do come up. If you are interested in this very unique graphic novel, which as you can see if you are over on our YouTube channel, make sure to tune into our socials at Dark Side of the Library. You will find the interesting art right here. So this is Bloody Honey. This is by Dorshak, Blok. Next on our list today, I really actually love the simplicity of this cover, and I love the coloring of the character we've got. It is called Deep Dark. This is published by Source Point Press. It is by David Sundra, and it comes out December 26th. Erica Cord wakes up into a living nightmare when she realizes what she has become, as she begins to learn what the deep dark really is. She is looking for the mythical deep dark, hoping it sheds answers on her past. Instead, she finds herself in a world of gods, monsters, where all the horrors of myth and legend are very, very real. It looks like she is also, if she's the one on the cover, she does also turn into a creepy creature. So this is Deep Dark by David Sundra. Next on our list today, probably our only mainstream comic, we have Hellboy in Love. This came out December 5th. It is by Mignola, of course, Christopher Golden, Matt Smith, David Stewart, and Clem Robbins, of course. Pretty standard team of Hellboy associates. So we have love blooms between Hellboy and archaeologist Anastasia Bronzefield when they aren't busy chasing goblins through the UK, fighting shadow ghosts in Turkey, and investigating archaeological dig sites in India. That is. This is a volume that collects 3 stories of Hellboy and Anastasia's misadventures, plus other material. It is 136 pages, published by, of course, Dark Horse Comics. We love to present Mike Mignola's stuff here because he is the pinnacle of goth comic books, in the comic world. So this is Hellboy in Love by Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden, Matt Smith, Dave Stewart, and Clem Robbins. Next on our list today, this is a really fun art style. Looks very cartoony, but then when you look on the inside of the comic, very painterly. It's really, really stunning artwork, just in general, and it's creepy. Just the characters already look very sinister and freaky. So this is called Fiends of the Eastern Front, the Omnibus Volume 1. This came out December 5th. This is by Gerry, Finley-Day, David Bishop, Ian Edginton, Guy Adams, and so many other people have contributed. This is published by 2000 AD. This is an omnibus edition of classic supernatural war stories from the golden age of the publishing company at 2000 AD. It's expanded and updated in this new definitive edition too, which is cool. So if this is something you've already read, it might be a little different and it might be a great collector item. So this is what it's about. Buried deep underground are the remains of Wehrmacht soldier Hans Schmidt and his diary, which journals his eerie encounter with the Romanian captain Constanta and his platoon of blood-sucking freaks back in 1943, with the Russians willing to fight until their last man in order to defend Stalingrad. Panzer Grenadier Richter discovers Constanta's secret and learns that sometimes your allies can be just as dangerous as your enemy. So, if you've never read this before, some of the amazing artists on here are Carlos Esquerra, who did Judge Dredd, Colin McNeil, who did America and Chopper. Some of the stories that are presented in here, of course, David Bishop from Thrill Power Overload, Dave Kendall from Fall of Dead World. So a lot of contributors here. This is a very cool graphic novel with a lot of amazing art, like I said, and cool stories. This is Fiends of the Eastern Front Omnibus. This is volume 1. Next on our list today is one that I'm actually looking forward to because the cover looks great. I don't get a glimpse of what the inside looks like, but we have four top creators in the comic world create and continue the Victorian tradition of ghost stories on Christmas Eve. So they've given us 4 tales that are sinister and freaky. It's called Four Gathered on Christmas Eve. It comes out December 19th. We have Eric Powell, Mike Mignola, Becky Cloonan, and James Herron. All are illustrating and writing these stories. So we have 4 bizarre and terrifying tales to keep you company on the cold night of Yule. A unique approach to the ghost story format where the creators themselves actually become part of the story. This is a hardcover and it's a collector item. 72 pages. It looks really good. I am excited to actually dig into this. This would be a really fun one to pass on to your loved ones. You can just try to retell these stories around, your Christmas tree during maybe a friend's gathering or something like that. So this is Four Gathered on Christmas Eve. This is by Eric Powell, Mike Mignola, Becky Cloonan, and James Herron. We have 4 more comic books on our list today. This one is Frankenstein by Georges Bess. So this comes out December 12th. Of course, this is the story by Mary Shelley, but our author and artist, Georges Bess, does their own interpretation of the novel Frankenstein. So, of course, we have the classic tale about a scientist's hubris and a pitiable creature who did not ask to be brought to life. This is stunning illustrations, all black and white. This is 204 pages. It's by Magnetic Press. Beautiful, beautiful artwork, and it really does the story justice. It is Frankenstein by George Bess. And next on our list today is one that sounds, too good to be true, at least for me. It's called Hairball. It comes out December 19th. It's by Matt Kindt. Tyler Jenkins and Hilary Jenkins are the illustrators for this. Apparently, it's a supernatural nightmare that's Junji Ito meets Hayao Miyazaki. That is a high bar. So I definitely have to check it out. When you look, before I talk about the actual story, the book itself is kind of fun. So the hardcover here has little cutouts for the cat eyes, and you can open the flap and then you see the creepy cat eyes. One of the eyes is tilted, which makes it look a little more sinister, but it's kind of a cool cover. Here's what the story is about. A young girl with a black cat begins to suspect the innocuous beast is behind all of her troubles. Her parents fighting, family plagues, and innumerable supernatural horrors. As she tries her best to rid herself of this creature, she discovers that maybe the cat is not evil after all, and a greater terror may be behind all of these horrific events that are harming her life. Apparently, it collects volumes 1 through 4. It's 160 pages, and it is published by Dark Horse Comics. I am really curious about it because all of these things sound too good to be true, like cats, supernatural, Junji Ito, Hayao Miyazaki. It sounds great. This is called Hairball. It's by Matt Kindt and Tyler Jenkins and Hilary Jenkins. Next on our list of comics today, we have The Matriarchs. This is a Dark Horse comic as well. This is by Luann Brickhouse, Jennifer Rea, and Renee DeLise is the illustrator. This comes out December 5th. They look like us, they act like us, they feed on us. When two female researchers survive a mass prison riot and emerge unscathed, it threatens to reveal them for who they really are. An immortal race of women with superhuman abilities and a violent history of secrets they've left buried with the dead. Ooh, vampires. Racing to head off an impending threat to all men on the planet, they must confront their unforgivable pasts and resurrect the very worst of their demons to save us all. This sounds really fun. It is a look at the strength of women and the morals and value of all humankind. The art is really good. I really enjoy it. It's just the cover so far is beautiful. It looks like a fun, spooky read and a great gift for any of your loved ones. This is The Matriarchs by Luann Brickhouse, Jennifer Rea, and Renee DeLise. And our final book on our list today. There's a lot of Dark Horse comic books that are coming out and are on this list. It is Monster Born. This comes out December 19th. This is by Steve Niles, Shannon Eric Denton, Tom Mandrake, and Michael Atiyeh. Amanda Lamb has always found herself fighting. Humans or monsters, it's just what she knows best. Kidnapped by an undead creature as a child, she had to fight to survive and eventually fight for her freedom. Since then, she's vowed to eradicate the world of the kinds of monsters that caused her so much pain. But when the mother and father she never knew die, her life becomes entangled with her family in ways more complicated than she could imagine. So now we can join Amanda as she's recruited to do what she does best in a fight against werewolves, vampires, and so much more. I see weird worm fish creatures on the cover. I see all kinds of stuff on this cover. So if you are interested in a monster hunting kind of graphic novel, this is it. This is called Monster Born. This is by Steve Niles, Shannon Eric Denton, Tom Mandrake, and Michael Atiyeh. Yes, that is our final list of comic books that are coming out in December of 2023. I know it's pretty short, but there's a ton of comic books that are going to be released in 2024, so make sure to stay tuned. You can follow us on our socials at Dark Side of the Library. We cover all kinds of books. Make sure to subscribe so you get notified when we do upload our new podcast episodes, which tends to be every Wednesday and Friday. We would appreciate it if you ranked and reviewed our podcast on your favorite listening app or over on our YouTube channel. Make sure to comment. Let us know about what kind of comic books you've enjoyed this year. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We will see you in the next podcast.